Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited today because, well, first of all, I get to talk to one of my best friends in the world. That's one of the reasons. And you're my best friend too, by the way. But today we're going to be talking about media, using your media assets. Like, what do media assets even mean? How do you use them? How do you make the most of them? Get them out there into the world at the right time, at the right place, using the right images and all these different things. There's so many things that go into it. What makes you show stopping? What makes it so that when somebody is scrolling through your feed that they're like, oh, I gotta go look at that? Well, we're going to talk about that today. I'm excited to introduce my guest, Krystyell Richardson, the Red Carpet Empress. Hello, Krystyell. It's good to see you tonight,
Hi.
this morning. It feels like night. I feel like I've been awake
It's
all
good
night.
to see you anytime. Like you don't even know what time it is, but it's somewhere in the world. It's night, morning, and all that. So it's great. I don't know
Yes,
how many hours of sleep did you get last night?
I actually got 7 hours of sleep. So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
like a 7 or 8 hour. I
Mhm.
used to be a night owl and I would stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning and get very little sleep. And I decided about a little over a year ago that I was going to become an early bird. So I
Mhm.
started waking up at between 5 and 5:30, and it's really changed my eyes. I say that because my eyes used to be so tired all the time,
Mhm.
and now I very rarely do I have where my eyes are tired. So that's kind of cool.
Well,
That's cool.
good, good, good. Well, you're a late bird because I get up. My husband gets up at 4, so sometimes I'm up at a quarter to 4, but like before the alarm goes off, or 4 or 4:15. So
Oh my gosh. If
yeah.
you're an early bird listening in or a night owl, let us know which one you are because I'm curious. Like, how does this all work? I like how you say I'm a late bird because I get up at 5, right? And that used to be early for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're not here to talk about that today. We can talk about it, but that's not very interesting. So let's go and switch the topic to what our topic is today. And that's talking about media. You are the Red Carpet Empress. I do red carpet interviews, and I remember the first time I saw you doing them, like you just standing up there, so poised, so professional. I was like, I hope that someday I can come off as that. I want to be able to pull that off when I'm up there on the red carpet. But I decided, you know what, I need to be myself. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today is showing up as you. Because
Mhm.
when we spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to others, it doesn't work because that's not who we are. So I'd like to know, like, first of all, how did you become the Red Carpet Empress, and how long have you been interviewing stars on the red carpet? And then also, our topic today really is about getting yourself out there, showing up as the person you are. How do you know what kind of like social media posts to do, and or just media in general? Because you have an event called Emerge Media Experience, right? Emerge Media Mastery, and
Right.
we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But tell us first, like, how the heck did you get into this?
How the heck? So,
How the
first
heck?
of all, just thank you for this interview, Linda. And yeah, we're here to talk about our joint event related to the Emerge Media Experience.com. And part of, yes, in the link below. But part of what you asked me was, how did I get into this? And so some have heard the story related to a very dear friend of mine, and we met at an event. Our nonprofit was being honored, and I was just so thankful that we were being honored for what we do with the homeless and at-risk youth, and also overseas missions. And so I was there at the event, and I got up on the stage and I did what I did related to thanking everyone and talking about what we do. And I'm waving this flag for those who cannot, those who don't have a voice in this and that. And so one of the people who invited me was Allison Larson. Her name is different now, and it was at an event with David Fagan. And so there were a few people that were there that were basically in their network. And then there were a number of people there that were being honored based on this event. And so one of the people came up to talk to me, and we were having a conversation, and Allison had a radio show, and it's like, well, I'm thinking about maybe I'll start a radio show based on some of the things that I would like to talk about. And so the person said, well, if you start the show, I would be honored to be your first guest. And I was like, wow, that would be great. And he's like, well, how about it? And I was like, well, how about it, Frank? And he says, well, how about it, Krystyell? And so I went ahead and did it. And that person was Frank Shankowitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. And so he was the very first guest on my show. And he was like, this is your first show. You did amazing. Like, I can't believe that this is your first one. But I had already been like MCs of events and done a number of events, but never a radio show. So by meeting him and by being a part of that network, I was then introduced to the next person and the next person and the next person. And all of these people that are now, my dear friends that I have, in my phone on speed dial whenever I need something and are doing something, they do whatever they can to be a part of it, is how I got involved in this. And so I now have a Millionaire Billionaire Alliance, and Linda does too, various people that we know jointly. We do know a few different people, but being a part of this alliance, it has allowed me then the ability and the capability and the opportunity to be on red carpets. And so I did, are you sneezing or doing something? Hopefully you're okay. So I did The Wish Man, which is Frank's movie. And unfortunately, he did pass away last year. So that really, really hurt my heart. But I did his movie premiere. And then I was in the one that was in Hollywood. And then I've done, other ones related to City Gala, and, the list goes on and on of various ones that I did. And so part of that, when I did the first one, it was in relation to my radio show that I had the microphone for. But I'm like, I need to have a name. And so I was coming up with various names related to red carpet and being creative and trying to think about what I could do. And so looked up various things, but I never saw anyone that was called the Red Carpet Empress. And I'm like, that's going to be my name. That's going to be my name going forward. So I made a logo and came up with that. And I love it. And other people are like, wow, I've never met an empress before. And there's people that bow at my feet and everything and just being silly. And Linda, the one that she was talking about, one of the first ones we did together, was that there were other people too that were there. We were all setting up and people were asking me questions, how to do this and how to do that. And really, Linda, it's all about how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you speak to your team. I had, several camera people there and letting them know. And so people were like taking like a master class on the red carpet with me, of which that particular one was my first one at that event. And they were like, oh, you've been to this event before. How do I do this? Or how do I do that? Oh, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, oh, don't be nervous. All you got to do is this, 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 and this. And so helping people with that is a passion of mine. And that's why I came up with this event, Emerge, which you came to the first one. And so now we're having the next one and planning for the next one in April. And so part of what I did and what I do on red carpets is what I taught at Emerge. And so what do you have to say about what you came to here in Arizona?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I want to stop you because, you already stopped yourself, but I'm gonna, just talk about a little bit about what you just talked about, because it's interesting that, see, oftentimes we allow fear to stop us from doing things. Mm-hmm. And we might look at, someone like Krystyell and say, wow, she's the red carpet empress. I would love to do that. Oh, but that's not for me. And that was who I was, Krystyell. The very first time I was on the red carpet was at City Gala. It's the Academy Awards after party, an amazing, amazing event. There were hundreds of stars on the red carpet. There were hundreds of paparazzi on the carpet. And I was one of them. And I was standing there like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. How did I get here? But then if I look back, I was like, wow, I was on that red carpet and I didn't think I deserved to be there. But once I got on there, I was like, this is for me.
Yes.
And so
when you're on there, you have to get the game on face. Yes.
Yeah. And now as I remember exactly that first interview, I said, from this point forward, like I'm going to demand to be on the red carpet, because it was such an amazing amount of energy and the high that I got from it, the emotional high, just so fantastic to be able to just, it's not about the stars. It was about just being with people and being able to share their voice with the world, because that's my mission, my vision, my passion. And so it's really cool. It's not about the red carpet itself. It's just about that opportunity to help other people to share their voice with the world, no matter who they are. Because even some movie stars, some of the people that are in my following or what have you, I hate those words. I think it's ridiculous. But anyway, those people might not have heard of the stars, or might not have heard of the movie that they're doing or what have you. So I think it's cool how, you and I, we actually came together here, Soaring with Eagles, your show.
Right.
Yeah. And it was cool because Krystyell was doing her show called Soaring with Eagles in San Diego. And I drove to meet her and a gentleman that we know, Jason. And she interviewed me on her show.
Yeah,
and that was the very, very start. My point there is now I met Jason at Secret Knock because he was a volunteer when I was organizing the event. And he said, Linda, you should connect with Krystyell. Now, Krystyell and I ended up just meeting that one day. And then things started happening. We connected with each other more, saw each other on Red Carpet, saw each other at other events. Right. And so this point that I'm making here is you never know what's going to happen from one connection. Now, Krystyell met Frank Shankwitz at that one event, and look how things have unfolded. So how many opportunities are staring you right in the face that you're not taking because you're too scared? And I get it. I faced a fear every day for a year because I had so many fears. But fear is stopping us from moving forward. So Krystyell, first I want to thank you for sharing all of that. And as you can hear, my husband's washing dishes right now. Thanks, honey. It's like, well, I'm busy. But this event that we're doing together, you created it yourself, and I came to I didn't know it was the first one, by the way. Just like Krystyell was sharing about her experience on the red carpet. It was her first time on the red carpet. And she was directing people of what to do because she knows what she does. She had just never done it on the red carpet before. And then here, people were saying, how do I do this? How do I do this? Because of how she shows up. Now, when I attended her event called Emerge Media Mastery in Arizona, first of all, I had no idea it was your first one. And again, it's how you show up. So how are you showing up on your social media and how are you showing up everywhere? And Krystyell, how did you gain so much confidence? Like, have you always been this confident person that just boom, 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 this is what we're doing. Everybody, I know what I'm doing, but I don't really know what I'm doing. But I don't want anybody to know. Like, how did you come to this? It's amazing. I had no idea it was your first one. And it was it blew my mind. And so I remember we were sitting there and I was like, can we do one in a castle?
Right. So, well, the thing is, it wasn't my first event ever in life. It was my first Emerge. And so the thing is that, your gifts and talents and what God has placed in you, it travels. They travel and they can be used in any way, shape, and form if we just reform it. And my favorite word is metamorphosize. Okay. So if we just metamorphosize it into what we want it to be, then we can make it happen. So Emerge Media Experience was taking all of the different things that I had learned from various events that I put on myself, as well as ones that I attended, and tips and tools and tricks and little things that we can do to project our voice and to use our hands. And I'm very creative. I teach dance. And so some of the things that they were doing, Linda, were actual like dance moves and things that I teach in that. And so our gifts and talents, they travel. And so Emerge Media Experience was just that. My husband runs a fitness boot camp, and this was a media boot camp. So from before sun up, sometimes to after sundown, we were really, really, really engaged into giving people as much as we could to help them to be confident. Everyone doesn't want to be a public speaker, but everyone does need some type of confidence, in order to live their life, in my opinion. But some people do want to be speakers. Some people want to be where they have a show or a podcast, or they already have one and want to be better at it. And I tell you, Linda, we have the first commercial that is now available that I'll be sending to you probably tomorrow, because the first letter of Emerge is E. And so with you and I in it, and with the delegates and everything, and it is on point, it is popping, and this is going to be great, to release these various like little docu-series of the Emerge experience so that people can get a better understanding of what they're going to get at Emerge Media Experience in the castle. So yeah.
Share with us, what does Emerge stand for? EMERGE. What does that stand for?
So each
Are
letter,
you laughing because you don't know? Just-
each letter stands for something. And so the first one is energize. You know, come on, Linda, come on, get your hands up. Let's energize since you're doing this. The first letter is E for energize. And
Energize.
is move. We need to move into our greatness and move into, what really, what God has placed us here for. And part of it is to speak up and to speak out. And then
Move.
M-E. And so the next one is that we need to evolve and endure. We're going to need to endure some things, maybe some things that people call failures, which I don't. It is lessons learned. Every single thing can be a lesson learned. And no, to answer your question, I have not always necessarily, been confident, or I've been confident and then I've had some issues. Like I had COVID back in December and double pneumonia. So sometimes my voice doesn't exactly work right, and it'll shake, and I'm like, doing all these things, but even before that, sometimes that would happen. So I just do whatever I can do to go and push beyond that. So you have to endure, and we have to evolve as people into being the best version of ourselves. And once we become that version, we need to evolve again to be the next best version of ourselves. And then R is we need to rise to the occasion and rise to our next level again of confidence. Once we get one, we can get another one. And then R, and then G is grow. Growing is different than rising, because this is the breadth of our knowledge and the foundation that we can have in studying our craft. A lot of people just want to be there without putting in the time to do the studying. Okay. And then there's the last E is right here. We need to encourage ourselves and encourage others. Come on, Linda. We need to encourage ourselves and we need to encourage others. And so as we go through emerge, each letter, I see you doing it, each letter, everyone do it. Well, unless you're driving your car, don't take your hand off the steering wheel. But doing this is really amazing. And so that's what Linda is talking about. We went through each letter. We went through a lot of different examples. And I really, really love the videos of the one where they had to just take a common object and do like this whole dissertation on the common object, but not using it as what it was, calling it something else, like transforming it into something else. I'm not going to give out, all of what it is, because we're going to do it again at the other emerge. But it was really, really great to see people using their speaking skills to do all of that. So it was just really, really fun. Really, really fun. Hey, Gail, I'm glad you love this. You'd love it. You'd love to actually be there too, in a castle.
Yeah, I want to show. I'm gonna pull up the castle, but I want to share that it's more than just about the words that she's speaking, and it's the training that she gives, like to have that confidence. And I will share. I remember one of the ladies. I'm not going to mention any names, but one of the ladies at the first day, because it was 2 days, the first day, she was very quiet.
Yeah.
And she would get up on stage and she was so nervous and scared. And I get it. Like we're day and day. She was up there with confidence. And it was interesting and fascinating to see such a fast transformation. Now that's one spectrum. Then you have the other spectrum. There were some of them that when they got up on stage, they were confident. They knew what they were doing. They had this amazing confidence to them. But then by the end of the second day, they were more focused and they knew what they were talking about, not just confidence of being on stage. So there's a different kind of confidence, right? There's a confidence of being on stage, and there's a confidence of really knowing what your message is, how you're delivering it, and how the audience is going to take it. So, that's, those are a couple, like, those are my observations as a person. I was there to help Krystyell. I wasn't there as an attendee, but I was attending, so it was awesome because I got to attend and then also help as well. And it was cool because I'm just going to ask this question, Krystyell, because in my mind, I was like, why does she want me there? I mean, I don't have, she's got it going on. She doesn't need me. So I'm just curious, like, why did you have me join you at that and, participate as, somebody that was helping you?
Yeah. So Linda, you have it going on as well. Okay. And if you didn't, I wouldn't have you there to even help, first of all. And the thing is that, I was just talking to somebody about this last night, and I talked about it yesterday on my live related to determination. Like, what are you determined to do? What are you determined to do? That was my live yesterday. And last night I was talking to a guy about him putting too much pressure on himself of like this analysis of where he's supposed to be and what he's supposed to do and stuff. And I said, well, if we are praying to God, I know everybody's not a Christian, but if we're praying to God that our steps are ordered by him, then the thoughts that come into our mind, order my steps, order my thoughts, then it's going to be something that is supposed to be in our life. The people that we're thinking about at a particular time for a particular thing is the person who's supposed to be for that. And I'm not going to try to get too far off track, but when I did my first gospel CD, I sang, on one or two of the songs, like the lead, but all of the songs, all 12 or whatever songs, God sent me, told me exactly who was supposed to lead each song. Now, some of them end up having surgeries and having different things like, oh, I can't be in. I'm like, oh, yeah, by the time it's time for this, you will be, because you are the person that got sent for that. And then somebody else, somebody died. And there's all these different things going on. But by the end of that every single person that he sent me was the person. So you were the person for this. And it was probably because we were supposed to do the castle event and some other things. I don't really have any other explanation than that, is that, you have it going on too. You were the person that came across my mind for this. I didn't have 10, 12, 13, 14 different people helping. I didn't ask. And Linda was the only one that said yes. You were the person that I was supposed to ask for this.
Wow. Thank you for that, because I'm glad I never asked you that before, but I'm glad I did, because that really puts that perspective, right? To listen to what God's sending you. And I truly believe in that as well. I do pray and think about things like that, and, ask for guidance on different things, because sometimes I'm not sure that I'm doing the right thing, or, taking the right path, my own self. So thank you for that. And I love that. Thank you so much, Gail. Gail says, Linda is a huge model of possibilities. Oh man. And that's the thing, Gail, it's really just about seeing the opportunities and then jumping into them. I like to say, see the opportunity, then seize the opportunity, right? Because it's really, you got to jump into
it first. You have to visualize
it.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth says God does place the right people at the right time, in his time. And sometimes we have to ask him, right? We have to ask for that guidance. Is this the right person? Are you sending me this person for this particular thing? And Gail popping in right now, right? It's like divine. Like, why did she pop in right now? And I've had many times where that's happened, where somebody's popping into a clubhouse room that I'm heading, and they're like, I needed to be here right now. I was just kind of scrolling through, and this is the one that spoke to me, right? So it's really listening to that. Well, Krystyell, we're so excited about the castle experience. What I'm going to do, just, right now, I'm going to show you the website, and just so you can see what we got going on. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting, because I had this idea to do a castle event, years ago. And it just never, here's the thing, again, talking about this, it just never happened, because it wasn't the right time with the right people. Because I was going to do a castle event with somebody else, and it just wasn't the right time with the right person. What's it showing on my screen? Okay, that's weird. Okay, so let's, I'm going to take us off the screen. So the castle is the spotlight of the event here today. Because it really is. So let me go back up to the top here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to play this commercial. It's a very, very short snippet, so you get an idea of what we're doing. Except I got to have the sound on. Hold on a second. Let me do that again. Okay, here goes. Okay, so that is the commercial that Krystyell and her team put together. So excited about it. You will be speaking on this stage. There's 12 or 14. I don't know. I'm kind of not sure if there's 12 or 14 seats in here, but you'll have an audience, staring at you on the stage. And we're going to be videotaping you on the stage, as well as there's a lot of other things. We got a, photo shoot. There's what's called a media minute, again, where you're up there on the stage. So there's going to be photo and video. You'll have castle interviews where Krystyell and I, and potentially some other people too, are thinking of bringing in to interview you, at the castle with that castle background. Opportunity to sleep in the castle. Those opportunities as well. So, and then having a sizzle reel at the end of the experience. So there's a whole bunch of cool things that we're doing with this event. I'm just going to scroll down here. You can go, find that at emergemediaexperience.com. Click on the apply button, and that'll take you to send me an email so that I know we want to hop on a call. And here, I just want to share some of the pictures here, because this is what the castle looks like. So here's what Krystyell, I want you to talk about the photo shoot and the video opportunities and what this can do for people's their social media and or their email campaigns.
Yeah, so it's about using all of what you have to promote who and what you are. And so some people are like, well, I don't even know what my company is going to be or what my product or my service is going to be. And that's okay, because there's general things that we can do to still have you speak on general items to get your message out about who you are. So if you do have a product or service already, then that's great, and we can do that as well. But a lot of it has to do with you just being a person. People want to see that you're a real person. And so, yes, it's going to be that you're a real person in a castle, but they want to see, who are you really behind the scenes? And so part of what we do is in the castle, and then we mix it with some of your own footage of things that you've been doing, so that we can create a really, really great sizzle reel for you to use as an intro. So when you get ready to speak, then we have an intro video that you can use. Or if you need a commercial to send to someone because they want you to come to an event, then you will have something that you can send and put it on your own YouTube. So we have in there, different worksheets that we will be using related to a number of the social media areas for you to fill it out and develop your own plan. And then during the event, we have a consultation with you to go over that plan and to set up things that you will be doing after this Emerge event, because it does not stop at the event. It actually doesn't stop ever, but it doesn't stop at the event. And even if you need that sizzle updated, there's a small fee that you can pay to have it updated. Like you've been on more networks like CBS, NBC, and you've been on Forbes. Like we can add that stuff in if that happened to you after you were at Emerge. So there's maintenance programs too, to have where you can have additional assets, and plus be in the mastermind with Linda and I even afterwards. So this is a great experience, a great opportunity, and to have people with the depth of knowledge and network as Linda and myself, I think it's kind of like tooting our own horn, but it's true. Like we have connections based on the right people. We're not just going to give you access to the people that are in our database if you have not shown that you can rise to that level for us to be able to introduce you for those bigger types of events and those bigger types of opportunities. And so this is also something to get you there and to show that, grow you into that so that you can prove that. And then we could potentially make some introductions.
Yeah. And that's what Emerge is all about, right? Is growing into that. Sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for who we are and what we're all about, because maybe we don't know. So that's why I asked Krystyell the question, Krystyell, why did you invite me to, not attend, but to be part of that? Because I didn't see that in myself, but Krystyell did. And that's one thing that's beautiful, is that when you step outside of yourself and you let somebody else help you to see who you truly are, is when you can make that next step to that next level. And then there's the next level, and there's constant leveling up if you're looking to continue to grow. And that's what Emerge really is all about. And that's what I loved about it. I was just so blown away by what Krystyell put together. So I want to thank you for that. And let's see, we have Elizabeth she says she just looked at it. it looks amazing. And she remembers the castle event conversation, because I was going to do castle masterminds all over the world, but I tabled it because it just wasn't the right time. And I didn't have the right people lined up for that. And, sometimes, and you have to listen to your gut, but it still kept coming up, castle, castle, castle. And so this was that opportunity that came up. So, but anybody who is interested in attending and wants to commit themselves to attending, because you're interested or committed, right? Which are you? Are you interested or committed? And so if you're interested in finding out more about it, to find out how you can make that commitment and attend this event, it is for women only. Sorry, guys, but this particular event is for women only. It's our first one. We're doing it. So we wanted, in a castle. So we wanted to, to just do it with the women, and so we can figure some things out for future. Eventually it will be co-ed, but at the beginning it's for women only. And it's limited to no more than 18 guests. Krystyell, me, and 18 guests. And the reason for that is the castle limits us to no more than 20 people on the property at one time. And we have high integrity, and we're going to make sure that we follow those rules. We're rule followers. So we're going to be following those rules. So again, if you're interested in that, go to emergemediaexperience.com. I'll drop it in the chat here, but you'll hop on a call with me. We'll talk about it, see if it is the right fit for you. And anybody who knows me knows that, I'm not going to try to convince you to do something that doesn't work for you, or that's not a fit for you. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But if you're ready and you're wanting to do this, I want you to imagine having your social media post have pictures of you in a castle. Now, let's say you're a coach, and whatever it is that you're coaching on, let's say you're a life coach, and you're trying to teach people to step into their brilliance, their greatness. But your media is like not really all that greatness, right? Like you haven't stepped into your own greatness yet. Mm-hmm. So think about that, because if your social media posts are in a castle, which is that is like, to me, that's the ultimate. It's just yes. It is so incredible, right? Like I have risen to the place of I am a queen. You know what I mean? And so if your social media posts are showing that, then people are going to look at that and they're going to be, wow, that's where I want to be. Mm-hmm. They're going to see what you're doing and say, I want to be to that level. So think about that, from that perspective. I'd love for you, Krystyell, to go ahead and wrap us up. We got just a couple more minutes left, but wrap us up, talking about the event again, and why should people attend, or at least hop on a call with me to find out if it's right for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I like what you said, and what we continue to say, related to people just imagining themselves, not just in the castle, but imagining themselves where they up level themselves to where it is that they really want to be. And part of that is just exuding that confidence. It's exuding what it is that you want to be. Like you are transforming yourself into that next level of a person, into your best self. And so that happens to me all the time, that, like we were talking about then, people come up to me and asking me things as if I had done it for years, of which, I haven't necessarily done that. But it's that confidence that does that for you. Now, am I confident all the time? No. But part of the techniques that we will use and talk about are things that I have to do for myself each and every day. I have to do for myself for each and every event. And, it has to do with self-talk and things too. So as we wrap this up, I want you to imagine yourself as your future self. And you really need to be at the castle. You really need to be at the castle, so that even if you don't even want any media assets, because that's part of what we offer, but it's not about that. It's about us pouring into you to make yourself the best you. And if it translates into you being on that stage, great. If it translates to us being in the back room and having consultations each and every day, then that's what we're going to do, because we want to do what's best for you, but it would be awesome to see you on the stage.
I was muted. My dog keeps walking around. Yeah, definitely. And again, it's not just about the media assets. Right. That is a huge element to it, because when you see those, like when I see pictures of me on the red carpet, I'm like, wow, I remember that. Right. I remember how it felt. to do that very first interview on the red carpet, I was nervous as all get out, but after that very first one was done, that was when I was, wow, this is amazing. And I, like you said, I stepped into that confidence. And now when I go on the red carpet, I don't even think about it. And so it's like just part of that stepping into that next level that helps us to have that become our comfort zone, because our comfort zone is wherever we are today. So tomorrow, where am I going to be? That's going to enlarge that size of that comfort zone. So Emerge Media Mastery, that Castle experience, is definitely something that's going to help you to get there. And we'd love to have you. Please go to emergemediaexperience.com, click the apply button, and then let's get on a call and let's see if it is for you. Everybody have an amazing day. I know Krystyell has an appointment in two minutes, so got to head out. And everybody have an amazing, amazing day. And please connect with both of us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't know, wherever. We're everywhere. So just connect with us everywhere. Krystyell, thanks so much for your time this morning. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Everybody.